An historical figure is someone who is a famous person in history. These people have played a crucial role in society and have impacted history. Today I'm going to talk about the historical figure named Robert E. Lee. This is a picture of Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee was born on January 19, 1807 in Stratford Hall, Virginia. His parents are Colonel Henry Lee and Anne Hill. His father was known as Light Horse Harry, and at the age of 18, Robert E. Lee enrolled into West Point Military Academy. He was one of 6 graduating in his class. He never received a demerit, and Lee received perfect scores in artillery, infantry, and cavalry. After graduating West Point, he married Mary Custis, the great-granddaughter of George and Martha Washington. Here is a picture of Mary Custis. Mary and Lee had 7 children, 3 boys and 4 girls. While Lee stayed committed to his military obligations, his family stayed at Mary's father's plantation. He moved around the country from Savannah to Baltimore to St. Louis to New York. In 1846, the United States went to war against Mexico. Robert E. Lee was able to show his bravery as a battle commander. Lee was known as a hero when the U.S. defeated Mexico. His General Winfield Scott said that the government should consider taking out a life insurance policy on the commander. Lee then returned home to rebuild the plantation after the death of his father-in-law. In the year of 1859, Robert E. Lee returned to the Army. He accepted a position to be at a lonely cavalry outpost in Texas. Lee got summoned to put an end to a slave rebellion started by Henry Brown at the Harper's Ferry. Lee's attack just took a single hour to end the rebellion. Lee was offered to lead the Union forces, but he turned down the offer. He resigned and went home to his family. He was committed to Virginia, and when they seceded from the nation in April 1861, Lee agreed to take charge of the Confederate forces. In 1862, Lee found himself back out on the battlefield. By taking charge of the Northern Virginia Army, that May, he moved the Union Army outside of Richmond in a 7-day battle. Later in August, he and his army was victorious at Second Manassas. Lee then ran into a disaster. He nearly escaped the Battle of Antietam. The turning point of Lee's career was the Battle of Gettysburg. On June 1st through 3rd, the battle almost ruined Robert E. Lee's army, ending the invasion of the North and helped turn the war around for the Union. In 1864, Lee confronted Ulysses S. Grant about the decrease of his army. Ulysses drove southward, preventing Lee to lay siege to Richmond and Petersburg. In 1865, Robert E. Lee evacuated Richmond, and a week later he surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant at Potomac, Virginia. After the war, he returned to his family. Robert E. Lee accepted to the job to become president of Washington College in Lexington, Virginia. In 1870, he suffered a massive stroke and passed away at his home on October 12th. An animal that got Lee through the battles of Civil War was his horse. Here's a picture of his horse and him at a battle. His horse is named Traveler. He is a gray horse. He stands 16 feet tall. Traveler outlived Lee. He is now buried next to the Lee Chapel. Lee was a historical figure who fought for his country with a passion. While researching for this speech, I found a quote that he had stated about his confidence. He says, "I tremble for my country when I hear of confidence expressed in me. I know too well my weakness, that our only hope is in God. I believe if we have the confidence Robert E. Lee had, we can get through anything that life throws our way." I hope y'all enjoyed my speech on my historical figure, Robert E. Lee. My sources are biography.com, the History Channel, and Stratford's Hall. Thank you.